What up, Peasnuts? So, I've been streaming for about 2 weeks now, and I've been using my Canon T4i camera. It's an older camera, but it works pretty well. And, I've been pretty vocal or honest about what I'm using and how I'm doing it and why I'm doing it and everything else. And, the questions have come up like, how do I get it to work? Why is it working? I've been told a million times I can't use an old Canon camera because of, various reason X, Y, or Z. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can. So, can you use a Canon camera to stream? Yes. Can you use an old Canon camera to stream? Yes. How do you do it? Well, it's really quite simple. I have an HDMI capture card, a micro HDMI cable, and it's plugged into the computer over USB. Quite simple. Now, what you see on the right-hand side is my HDMI feed. You can also use the Canon web beta drivers, the web drivers that just recently came out, which they're still in beta, but as you can see, they work. So on the left-hand side, you see the Canon beta drivers. I have both of these streams going straight into OBS, and we're seeing them both rendered in real time. And the reason I'm doing this right now is so you can see the difference. While they work, while the beta web drivers work, on this older Canon camera, you can see that the frame rate is not great. It comes in at around 19 to 20 frames a second. On the right-hand side, I've got my HDMI capture card, which is 1080p at 30 frames per second. So right off the bat, you can actually see quite a difference in the frame rate, in the overall look and feel of the stream. You can see that the HDMI is superior in most ways. Now, the USB is no slouch, right? If you had an old Canon camera, T2i, T3i, T4i, T5i, whatever, and you wanted to stream with it, you could. You could do it just fine. You would plug in the USB, plug it into your computer, install the web beta drivers, and you're off and running to the races. You would see the exact image that is on the right-hand side of the screen, and it works. So if you're like me, just starting out, and you had a camera that you just wanted to use, but didn't want to spend a fortune on it, you could get the web beta drivers up and running, and everything would be fantastic. But if you wanted to spend a couple extra dollars, you could get your camera to work as well using nothing more than a micro HDMI cable, micro HDMI on one end, full HDMI on the other cable, and a capture card. Capture cards, typically when people are talking about capture cards, they're talking about the Elgato 4K Cam Link, which is a fantastic device by all accounts. So you could do that. But if you're using a Canon T4i camera, there's really no need to spend that amount of money on the camera. The image quality that you're going to get is 1080p at 30 frames per second. There's not a lot of color correction options, and you're kind of stuck. You kind of get what you get, right? So because the camera is only capable of doing so much. So spend your money wisely. Do you want to spend $150, $200 on a Elgato Cam Link 4K when you have a T4i camera? Probably not. I mean, that's my opinion, but probably not. Uh, I'm using a knockoff brand. Come on, focus. Knockoff brand HDMI capture card that I got off of Amazon. It costs about 20 bucks. The $20 HDMI capture card is what you're seeing right now. I bought two of them. Hell, if I wanted to spend $150, I could have bought six of them and been okay. But I don't have six reasons to have HDMI capture, so I didn't. I bought two though, because what I'm doing is I'm being able to stream PC gameplay. So my other PC gameplay capture stick is that guy. Pretty simple. Yeah. So, I mean, the Amazon Basics cables that they sell and this HDMI capture card, I'm able to capture all of my footage for around $30 because the HDMI cable that I bought, I think, was $7 and this thing was 20. So I'm going to round up and call it 30. And I'm off to the races. So, can you stream with a Canon T4i camera and an HDMI capture card? Absolutely. There's one issue that you need to be aware of, though. If you plug in just the HDMI cable and you have that plugged into your computer and you're streaming, your camera will turn off in 30 minutes. There's no way to get around it. There's no setting to turn that off. Nothing in Magic Lantern, nothing in your or in your Canon settings. It just turns off after 30 minutes. The live view turns off after 30 minutes. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. However, with the new Canon web beta drivers that you can install today, you can actually capture over the USB and the HDMI capture. So if you do that, then the camera won't go to sleep. The Canon web beta drivers that are available to install will keep the live view awake indefinitely. So that's it. That's all you have to do. My setup right now, which I will take a picture of and make sure that there's links to my Instagram and whatnot to take a look, is the HDMI cable and the USB cable are both plugged into the camera and are both plugged into my computer all the time. So when I'm streaming, the only feed you see is my HDMI, which I have set up in OBS. However, the USB feed is just there. It's present, but not active, and it's not in every one of my scenes. It just happens to be in a scene that I kind of thrown away. So let's answer the question once and for all. Can you stream with a Canon T4i? Yes. Do you need to spend a fortune on it? No. All you need to do, hook up your USB cable, download some web drivers, install, and start streaming. If you want to spend a little extra money, you can get a cheap capture card, and it looks a little nicer. Other than that, it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple, and it basically takes care of itself. So, with that said, I'd like to go ahead and transition out into my fancy schmancy streaming environment. And within my streaming environment, I'd like to say thank you very much for stopping by. Please check out pesnauts.com. Check us out on Facebook, Pesnauts. And we're live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, streaming various games. Right now we're streaming UFC 4. Champ is here. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's informative. I hope that you've watched it and it has unlocked your mind into something that most people have said is just not possible, or shouldn't be done, or couldn't be done. Because clearly, it can be done. And, quite frankly, compressed over the internet, streaming at 720p, 1080 maybe, at 30, maybe 60 frames, depends on what your setup looks like. It looks great. So, enjoy, have fun, stream, and check us out. Talk to you soon.